Let's now go to the pièce de résistance, the thing that made me squeal the most. That's what she said. Well, hello my lovely nestlings and welcome to today's video, which is going to be me playing with a bunch of stuff from the Beetlejuice collection with Revolution. It almost sounds like my house is haunted, which it sometimes is, but today not yet. And if you're new, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm from the Netherlands, hence the accent. I'm also slightly orcish and relatively vintage, which I will explain in just a little bit. And I love makeup. I love makeup. I love critters. I love spooky stuff. Yes. Let me also, before we go any further, let me give the explanations. The slightly orcish means that I have an olive complexion, so I'm always geared towards Halloween and or something. And the relatively vintage means that I am 46. I also have ADHD and I'm autistic, so I am the complete package. When I saw that Makeup Revolution was launching a Beetlejuice collection, I squealed. I have seen different Beetlejuice collections and none really caught my fancy. And this one did. So I have a bunch of stuff from them. I don't have everything, but I have a bunch of stuff from them. And I thought, let's kind of play with something. So I already filmed the B-roll, which basically means that while I'm talking about certain products, you will see them close up and swatches while I use them. Let's start with the sponge that I didn't use because I already have foundation on my face. It's very, very bright green and it says Beetlejuice 3 times. I don't know if I can show you. I think it looks cute, but I already had a dirty sponge, so I haven't... I think I will try it, but apparently not today. Let's go then next to the next thing that I would kind of use right now, and that is the powder. Well, I don't know why I thought it would be not as white as it is. It's very, very white. It also says so on the box. It says so. White base. So you see it on my hand swatch, right? Oh lordy, lordy, lord. We're going to use it though. We're going to, yes, we're going to use it. So the embossing is 3 times Beetlejuice. I'm going to go to the side just with a smaller brush so as not to mess up the embossing. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. I hope. Is there a minty in there? No, I don't know. Let's just for funsies go very, very lightly. I'm just pressing the brush in and powder the face. Will I use this one often? Probably not. But honestly, it's not really why I bought the collection. So it's not as white as I thought it would be, but I'm also using a very, very light fluffy brush. So there is that. But if you are pasty pale, maybe this is something for you. I'm not really ghost face, right? Okay. But just the component, I think it's very, very cute. Now, honestly, I did not really, I did buy the collection, or at least parts of the collection to use. So for instance, the eye pencils, the lippy, you know, the sponge and the highlighter palette. And for the rest, the eyeshadow palettes, some I just bought because I wanted to, but we will get there in a little bit. So the next thing that I'm going to show you is the highlighter. And what I love about this is that it's just small. It's kind of like a pocketbook. And I have a palette, you can kind of see it, I think, there. Yes, it's also a handbook for the recently deceased, which is from V Cosmetics. I will link that down below. That's actually an eyeshadow palette, but I like that this is just a smaller palette. And when I swatched them, I was like, ooh, they're very, very pretty. So what I actually want to do is I want to use this one because I think that for my skin, maybe I will use both. This will be too dark, which is fine, but I don't go for shimmer bronzer. That's how I could use it, but that's not what I use usually. So we're just going to start with this one first. Wow, it's a nice highlighter. I love highlighters like this, which are a little bit more on the rosy gold side almost. I think it's very, very pretty, especially for me. And I just think that this one in the middle is just, for me right now, it's way too icy. So that's why I won't use it. But honestly, I think, looking at the shine that it gives me, I think that they did a great job. I think it's a very, very, very pretty color. Okay, will I use everything of it? Probably not, but this just makes me happy. What can I say? So let's go to the lippy. There are 2 lippies in the collection and I just got one. I have the shade, is it the shade Beetlejuice? Here Lies Beetlejuice. Yeah, I think so. So let's use that one as well. I kind of like the color. It goes on nice and smooth. It's, I almost want to say a soft matte, maybe a satin finish. But it feels nice. It doesn't have a wonky taste, you know, like your granny's lipsticks. And I think that the color is pretty as well. So I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. Okay. Okay, so next I'm going to show you the eyeshadow palette. So I have all 3 eyeshadow palettes. Honestly, I myself am strange and unusual. I just need it. I just really, really needed it. You know, it's basically almost my life's motto. And then inside there's the mirror is shaped like a bug. And I love that so much. Now, when I swatched the palette, the pigmentation was there. It's not really a color story that I'm drawn to heaps. If you guys really want me to, I can use it. But that's not why I bought the palette. But I did want to show it. I wanted to show the close-ups. I wanted to show the swatches. This is largely a pressed pigment palette though. So the only shades that don't have an asterisk are shade 1 and 8. So shade 1 is this one. And shade 8 is that one. The rest are, it's a vegan palette. So there are vegan dyes in here. Now, I have said this before. The FDA needs to hurry the F up with testing. Because they always say that these are not suited for use around the eye area. The immediate eye area. They just haven't been tested. So they don't know if they are safe or not. They have not been tested. And that is the issue. These are considered eye safe where I live, which is Europe. And honestly, the EU is so strict with the ingredients in the makeup for what we put on our face, or, you know, lipstick, eyes. They're very strict, stricter than the FDA. So do with that what you will. I'm going to use everything that I have here around my eyes if I want to, but if you don't feel comfortable, then just don't. It's not that difficult. And these shades you can also, you know, use on your face if you want to. I have no problem. I usually don't get a lot of staining or eye irritation, so... But if you are sensitive, and that's with everything, right? If you are sensitive to an ingredient, you will get a reaction. It's that. So, yes. Then the other palette that I have here, which is the House. Does that have a name, that palette? Let's see what it says on the box. Nothing. It's just the House. The yellowy gold, and then the gray shimmer and the brown matte. Those don't have the asterisks. I really do like this color story. I actually like this color story more than I thought. Apparently I'm holding it upside down constantly, so you also see me holding it upside down in the close-up. I just basically swatched the shimmers together and the mattes together. What I do want to say with this, when I look at this, so the lightest purple, pinky purple, and then the center shade, in the swatches they look very close. You can kind of see when I hold the palette like this, you can kind of see it a little bit better. There is a difference. It's slight, but there is a difference. And this is actually a color story that I would probably enjoy. I'm not going to use it today because I think that most people are more interested in the bigger palette. But this is a color story that I can see myself grabbing as well. Let's now go to the big palette. The pièce de résistance. The thing that made me squeal the most. That's what she said. And it's the big palette. It's the Beetlejuice palette. Also pressed pigments in here, which are basically, I think, the purpley shades. I love how it opens. So what I also love is it's not too big. That's what she said. It's something that doesn't take up my entire desk, and I love the way that it opens. I think that they nailed this. a lot. I think that they nailed it. So you also see the swatches of this. I swatched the shimmers together and I swatched the mattes together. The palette doesn't swatch the best, but it's more important how it functions. So what I noticed right away is the shade It's Showtime and Make My Millennium, the two green mattes, they are very, very close together. When I look at the palette, I can see that this is more of an olive green, a light olive green, and this is more of a light grassy green. I actually wish that one of the two was darker. That's right away what I'm noticing, but this is the palette that I'm going to use today. Maybe we can do a nice two-toned look. One eye green, one eye purple. Okay, so I'm going to do one green eye and then one pink eye, purple eye, that was what I meant. So I'm going to start with the shade called Make My Millennium, which is the lightest olivey green. Okay, it has a little bit of kick up in the pen, which I prefer. I'm going to go to this shade, which is the light pinky shade. I was kind of afraid of it. What I'm trying to find is same type of depth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to place this a little bit more. Like that. Then I'm going to go to the next shade, which is going to be Just Say It. That one. I'm kind of going to darken up the lighter pink a little. It's a very, very nice shade though. So I'm just going to put it on top because I'm trying to kind of create the same amount of vibrancy and depth as the green side. Next, I'm just going to use the same brush because it doesn't matter. I have a microfiber towel here that I clean my brush off in between. I'm going to go next to the shade It's Showtime. Let's see what a difference in color that is compared to this one. Yeah, I kind of was afraid of that. So I can see on me that my skin wants to pull out the blue of that's in the green a little bit, but it's just not enough. That's okay though. So my plan was to go to this, to the shade Do You Like It, which is this one. I'm going to tap it on and blend a little. Now purples are very hard to formulate, but this looks actually like a very, very nice purple. Oh. Okay, what I'm going to do for the green side is I'm going to cheat a little. So I'm going to go to the shade Waiting Room, which is the black, and I'm probably going to sandwich this black between the green and then the black. So very lightly I'm going to go to the shade Waiting Room, very lightly, and I'm going to tap that on here because I need that contrast, if that makes any sense. So very, very lightly, and then I'm going to put that green back on top. And that works as well. So now I can darken up this side. So I'm going to go back to the shade Do You Like It, which is that darker purple. And I'm going to put it on a little bit more heavily. Next I'm going to go to the black, which is called Waiting Room. Maybe it's more of a charcoal grey. I'm going to use that on both eyes. A little bit more. And I'm just taking my time, I'm just doing small bits at a time. If you want a black that's very, very intense, this is not it. I don't mind that. I actually like a black like this as well. Okay, underneath my eye I'm kind of going to do the same thing as I did on the top. So for the green, I'm going to start with the lightest green. I'm going to go even lighter in a little. I'm just going to stay with this one. And the other side, I'm going to go to the shade Just Say It, which I have there. What I am going to do is I'm going to grab my shimmer primer because I think that the shimmers need it. My shimmer primer from Death and Candy Custom Creations, which will be linked down below. I just take a little bit, put on the back of my hand, kind of work my brush in, and then I'm going to tap it on my eye. I am going to go to the shade 3 times, which is this one. It's going to go here. I am creating fallout, but that's because I packed the brush with the shadow and I didn't tap it off, so that's what you're seeing. I'm going to go to this shade Beetlejuice. For my other eye, I'm going to go to this one, which is Sandworm. No, here lies was that. I'm going to go to Sandworm next. I'm going to put that over to brighten it up a little. Okay. And then I'm going to go to Have Some Laughs. And I'm going to go to that one, which is the sagey color, which is called Juilliard. I'm going to go back to all the shadows that I use, and I'm just going to make sure that it is the way that I want it. I'm just going to build up. I'm going to blend on the borders. I am going to go to the shade Juilliard, which is the light sagey green. And I'm going to go to the shade Say My Name, that one. Okay, let's pick out eye pencils. So I'm going to use the black to tightline, but I will do that in just a little. I am going to use the green. They feel nice and creamy. When I swatched them, I was like, oh wow, these are very, very nice and creamy. Okay, I'm going to layer the lightest purple on top here. Let me finesse everything and I'll be right back. Let me give you my thoughts on the eyeshadow palette that I use. For the rest, I kind of already explained, right? Let's start with the eye pencils. I like the formula of the eye pencils. I am going to try them out a little bit more though. I think they're nice and creamy, but I don't know how long they stay. I really do like the colors, and with the exception, I feel like this one, maybe I need to sharpen it a little bit more, but I feel that this one did not really want to give me the color that I was hoping for, but it could be me. So first off, I do like the colors. I love the way that they look, and they feel very nice and creamy in the waterline, not dry at all. So I like that a lot. Yeah, the highlighter I already mentioned. Let's go to the eyeshadow palette that I used. The mattes blended very, very well. They layered nicely as well. They're not the most pigmented right away, but you can get nice pigment out of that, and this is the look that you can get. So, and it did not take a lot of effort, so I'm happy about that. The black, as I said, it's more of a dark gray. If you're looking for a black that when you dip your brush in and you put it on your eye you have black like my shirt, this is not the black for you. It's just that way. But I very much like a black that I can use to darken up another shade without really making that shade black, if that makes any sense. So the mattes that I use, and I think I used most. Maybe, yeah. The only side note that I have though is the one that's called Recently Deceased. It looks like a satin. So I'm not really sure about that one just yet, but for the rest, the mattes were very, very nice in my opinion. The shimmers need help. It's just the way that it is. You can see how I got them. They are nice and shiny, but I feel that they do need a little bit of help. So either spray your brush, so pick up shadow, then spray your brush, then put it on your eye, use a shimmer primer. You can use your fingers. I don't like to do that, but you can. Or a sponge tip applicator. And I think those methods will work very, very well. I had trouble picking up, what shade was it? I think it was... I think it was actually this shade, the pink, and that one, that my brush had a little bit of trouble picking it up. So I kind of, you know, dug my brush in a little bit and it worked. So yeah, honestly though, if you like this theme, I don't think you will be very disappointed. Just don't expect heaps and heaps of pigment. But again, you can see what I created, and I had a lot of fun. Honestly, I have shadows that are more expensive, that are more difficult to work with. So for me, the whole aesthetic, the whole collection as a whole, I really love. And I will link down below where you can find the stuff. So let me know if you got any. And then that is going to be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down in the comment section below. I'm going to wish you a fantastic day, a fabulous evening. May your foundation always match your neck, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.